accuse elderly black man of car theft, then pee in his pants when they discover he. The rain had just started to fall in thin, cold needles when 82-year-old Isaiah Walker eased himself into the driver's seat of his midnight blue sedan. His hands, swollen with arthritis and years of labor, trembled slightly as he guided the key into the ignition. The engine turned over with a soft, familiar purr. To Isaiah, that sound was comfort. It was memory. It was proof that some things in life still work the way they were meant to. He adjusted the rearview mirror, his tired eyes meeting his own reflection. Deep wrinkles, silver beard neatly trimmed, and eyes that had seen too much of the world to be surprised by much anymore. Still, that night would surprise him. He had just left the community pharmacy with his heart medication and a small bag of groceries resting on the passenger seat. Thanksgiving was approaching, and though most of his family had moved out of state, he still planned to cook a small meal for himself and any neighbors who might stop by. Isaiah had always believed that being alone didn't mean being lonely. As he pulled out of the parking lot and signaled onto the quiet suburban street, flashing red and blue lights exploded in his mirrors. He sighed softly. Already, he muttered. Isaiah had lived long enough to know what a traffic stop meant for someone who looked like him. Still, he obeyed every rule. He eased the car to the curb, put it in park, turned off the engine, and placed both hands clearly on the steering wheel where they could be seen. The rain drummed louder on the roof as a patrol car pulled in behind him. One officer stepped out almost immediately. Young, white. His posture was stiff with the kind of confidence that came from authority worn like armor. The officer approached fast, hand resting near his holster. Step out of the vehicle. The officer commanded before Isaiah could even say a word. Isaiah blinked in confusion. Officer, may I ask what? Step out of the vehicle. Now, the officer snapped. Slowly, painfully, Isaiah shifted his weight and pushed the door open. His knees protested as he stood. He leaned lightly on the car for balance. The officer moved closer, eyes sharp, scanning Isaiah like a threat. Hands behind your back. Isaiah's heart thudded. Son, I'm just coming from the pharmacy. I didn't speed. I used my signal. You matched the description of a stolen vehicle suspect, the officer interrupted. This car was reported stolen. Isaiah's breath caught. Stolen? This is my car. I bought it 8 years ago. Turn around. Hands behind your back. Before Isaiah could fully comply, cold metal snapped around his wrists. The handcuffs were tight, biting into thin skin. The rain soaked through his jacket almost immediately. He stood there shivering as passing cars slowed to watch. A second patrol car pulled up. Another officer stepped out, older than the first, his face unreadable. The younger officer spoke quickly and confidently. I spotted the vehicle matching the bolo. Elderly black male driver. Suspect in possible grand theft auto earlier this evening. Isaiah's stomach twisted as the words washed over him. Suspect. Thief. Criminal. At his age. This is a mistake, Isaiah said quietly. Please, check the plate. Check the registration in the glove box. The younger officer scoffed. They all say that. The older officer hesitated. Let's run the plates before we take him in. The younger one waved dismissively. Already ran it, sir. It's flagged. Isaiah looked up sharply. That's not possible. But no one was listening. The younger officer turned Isaiah around and pushed him toward the hood of the patrol car. Isaiah stumbled, barely catching himself. Easy, the older officer muttered, but he didn't intervene. Rain streaked down Isaiah's face. His knees ached. His chest felt tight. He tried to focus on steady breathing. A small crowd had gathered near the sidewalk. A woman recorded on her phone. A man shook his head. No one stepped forward. They searched Isaiah's pockets, removed his wallet, his medication, his grocery receipt. The younger officer flipped through the wallet and smirked. You always carry this much cash on you, he asked. It's my pension, Isaiah said. I don't trust banks much anymore. The officer snorted. Convenient. Isaiah was placed in the back of the patrol car. The door shut with a heavy final click. The windows were fogging up fast. He felt trapped in a cold, wet, plastic-smelling box. Minutes passed. 10. 15. His back throbbed. His wrists burned. His chest tightened more and more, panic rising as the rain continued to pour. Outside, the younger officer leaned against his cruiser, joking quietly with the second officer. He laughed once, loud enough for
patrol
Isaiah
car,
to hear.
Isaiah's
Isaiah's breathing grows dangerously labored as he realizes his heart medication is still sitting in the front seat of his own car, just out of reach. He quietly prays for strength as panic sets in. Outside, the older officer returns with shocking news. The car is not stolen. The plates come back clean, registered to Isaiah Walker with no theft report. The younger officer is stunned, insisting that isn't what he saw earlier, but repeated checks confirm the same result. His face drains as the truth sinks in. Moments later, another patrol car arrives at high speed. A powerful-looking woman steps out in a long, dark coat, and the atmosphere instantly shifts. She demands to know who initiated the stop. When she learns it was the younger officer, she asks if he knows who Isaiah Walker is. He doesn't. When she looks into the patrol car and locks eyes with Isaiah, her expression transforms into shock and fury. She reveals that Isaiah is her father and that she is Deputy Chief Angela Walker. The younger officer physically recoils as fear overtakes him. Angela rushes to Isaiah's side and learns he urgently needs his medication. She orders the officers to retrieve it immediately. The younger officer panics, sprinting to the car and nearly falling as he rushes back. Angela helps her father take his medicine and personally removes his handcuffs. When Isaiah, shaken and hurt, explains they accused him of stealing his own car, Angela demands an explanation. The younger officer tries to speak but loses control of himself and urinates in his uniform from sheer terror. The humiliation is complete. Angela calmly but forcefully lists every violation committed: false accusation, unlawful detention, endangering a senior citizen, and denying medical care. Supervisors arrive as more squad cars flood the scene. Angela orders the officer suspended immediately pending a full investigation. Without resistance, the officer is escorted away in disgrace. Angela drives her father home in silence heavy with emotion. Isaiah admits he didn't want to call her or cause trouble. Angela firmly tells him he should never be treated that way, ever. By morning, the arrest footage has gone viral. The public reacts with outrage. Protests erupt, the department issues a formal apology, and the officer is fired almost immediately. Though justice comes quickly, the emotional damage lingers for Isaiah. He becomes more easily shaken, more fearful of flashing lights, his trust permanently scarred. Weeks later, after one of many visits, Angela hugs him and tells him to call anytime. As she leaves, Isaiah sits quietly on his porch, grateful to be alive, knowing this time the truth arrived before it was too late.